Today's topic is to take a little bit closer look at what you're actually getting for your investment. Just real briefly, some of you, this is your first time to be on our webinar, so let me just introduce the American Business Systems to you. We've been around for 22 years. We have a suite of services that will help you launch your business in medical billing. If you haven't taken the time to go to our website, it's absystems.com. And if you've been there but you haven't watched this little video is very good at helping communicate exactly what you're going to be getting into here with us here at American Business Systems. And as you'll see today, it's more than just getting a piece of software, some medical billing piece of software. It's going to be much more than that. Hopefully we'll be able to communicate that to you very well today. We still have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, so as you're doing your due diligence, you certainly want to be engaged with an organization that will tell you about the business that you might be getting into, so you can always check us out there at the Better Business Bureau. Obviously, we're going to be talking about our medical billing platform and EMR system, but as we do this today, you're going to see that we're going to dive into it greatly here. But folks, this is what makes us and separates us from all other medical billing platforms and service and support that's out there in the market today. And one way to come by and get to know us even better is to come on by our office. We've had over the last few weeks several people that have come by here at the first of the year. We're at 5751 Kroger Drive. We'd love for you to come on by, visit with us here, get to know us. Just get to know the people that you're getting involved with. Let me explain to you and introduce to you who Patrick Phillips is. He is the founder and the CEO of American Business Systems. You can see all of the things that he's been a part of and is continually being a part of. Actually, I want to put this one right here, that he is an author working on a new book, The New Thriving Medical Practice, that will be coming out here, I bet you within the next 60 to 90 days here. That'll be available, and I'd certainly like for everyone to be able to get a copy of that as well. I'm not going to spend any much more time on that. I'm actually going to get Patrick to come on in here. We've got so much that we want to try to cover here in this hour. So Patrick, good to have you here this afternoon. I'd say let's just get started right into this whole thing about what they're getting for their investment.
Yeah, well, we have that question asked a lot, don't we?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like, I think I was even telling you, and we were all kind of talking together in a meeting today, that some people just think that, well, all we're getting is a piece of software. I think we're going to try to expand on that a lot more today as we go through that.
Yeah, I think people, when they first look at this business, they think that the software is the most important part. And of course, it is important. You have to have a platform that allows you to do the billing for the doctors and, be very efficient at it and keep the rejections down and so forth. But that's not all there is to this business, is it, Eric?
No, it's much more than that. And as you can see here, folks, there's 9 different services, including what's called the Physician's Toolbox, which goes in so much deeper. There's so many other services that are along in there. And the reason we have so many different services, Patrick, is because it helps in their marketing. You want to kind of explain that, and then I'll kind of go through this as we go to this next slide here about the revenue cycle management. But all these services help someone actually get their business up and going.
Yeah, when we first started, of course, all we offered was medical billing. My wife started doing medical billing back in the late 80s, and that was when, I guess very few people were doing it at the time for doctors, and doctors were not even thinking in terms of outsourcing their billing. So when we approached the doctors, of course, it was kind of new and unique and so forth. But then as the years went by, of course, and more people got into this business, there was some competition. So then we had to stand out from the competition. Well, the way you do that is you have other things that you can do for the doctor to solve their revenue cycle problems other than medical billing. So that's what all those other services are, and we'll talk about each one of those today.
Yeah, and talking about that, you brought this into play, and this just kind of helps us understand the depth of really what's going on in healthcare.
Yeah, I think we got this out of Entrepreneur Magazine. Is that where it says it's from down there in the corner?
Inc. Magazine.
Yeah. And if you'll notice, what they've done here is, it's kind of weird because it kind of looks like a cloud here, but it's talking about all the different industries and the types of revenue that those industries have. Well, as you can see, the one in the very middle, the one that's the highest one there, is the $2.1 billion. That's health. I mean, so if you're thinking about getting into business, Why not get into a business that has a lot of money in it? And this one has a lot of money in it, health care.
Yep. Healthcare is huge, and the reason is because, out of the New England Journal of Medicine talks about what's going on behind the scenes of doctors' offices, and here's where we can start making the argument, so to say, of, I think a lot of people are a little bit afraid when they're doing their marketing. They go, well, I know that they're already doing their medical billing. They've got some person in their office doing medical billing, but then, how am I going to make a difference? Well, we make a difference on getting more money into the practice.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line, it really is a business that doctors are running. They don't like to think of it as a business, because it doesn't sound as professional, but it is. And bottom line, a business has to make a profit, and that means if you don't have the cash coming in that ought to be coming in, you could close down your practice, and many practices have, because they didn't know how to manage that cash flow, or they tried to manage it internally using their own staff rather than outsource it to somebody who's been trained to handle that. So as you can see, market analysts estimate that 24 cents out of every dollar are wasted on administrative and billing expenses. Eric, it's unheard of. I mean, in business, you just don't spend that money on your administrative side, and yet doctors do.
Yeah, and we can show just true statistics that that's really what's happening. If we start to think about it right here, right at the first, if we think about it, that's 24% of what the doctor's spending on doing their own medical billing.
Right.
So that's a big chunk of money.
Yeah, that's handling it themselves, using their own staff. And there's lots of hidden costs in doing that, of course. Not just the staff salary, but the software, the updates to the software, the user seats, the support, the technical side of it. You need an IT guy to run your computer network in your office if you're doing something like that on your own. So when they outsource it, of course, somebody who starts this business can charge that doctor a very small portion of that revenue, maybe 6 to 8%, certainly not 24 cents out of every dollar. And that's where the savings comes in for the doctor.
Right. So as we go through all of these different services today, we're going to be talking a little bit about each one of these as best we can, and try to get through it as much as we can in the next hour. And I think one of the things that helps separate us from everybody else out there, obviously, Patrick, we have to talk about the billing platform and what it is and what all is involved here. And so let's just start with that, because there's a question that's already come in about a particular billing software. But let's first of all talk about that, and then we'll come back and answer this question from Donna. But why don't you kind of explain, what we're looking at here, because this is not 3 or 4 different pieces of software that we pulled together. This is all integrated and working together hand in hand.
Yeah, so on the upper left there, you see iClaim. That's the practice management system. In other words, this is what similar to what a doctor would be using in their own office to manage their practice. We, of course, have this private labeled system just for our licensees. It's a proprietary system that only they can go out in the marketplace with, iClaim. And then to the right, you see the EMRX. That's our electronic medical records. Folks, this is not 2 pieces of software as it is with many, many companies that are out there. If you probe and ask them, they'll tell you that there are separate pieces there that are plugged together, trying to integrate, behind the scenes. Ours is an integrated system. It's all in one. It's all written by the exact same programmers, so there's no piecing things together and blaming the other guy. This all works. Plus, of course, we have a patient portal that allows doctors to give access to their patients directly into their medical records. And then, of course, we have a clearinghouse that's built in, that's a claim scrubber, make sure that the claims are clean before they're submitted. So working together, that's pretty unique in the marketplace.
Yeah, and it gives us a key advantage. And I'm going to kick it right over to this one right here. And let's answer Donna's question here. And her question is Epic billing software better than your billing software? What software does ABS use? Well, we're talking about it right now. Let's just be upfront. A billing software, I think there are so many different billing softwares that are out there that they're all can do just about the same thing. And so what makes one better than another? I'll tell you, It's our clearinghouse. Our clearinghouse is inside. It's embedded into our billing system, which means that we're doing everything in real time. So Donna, if you haven't gotten an opportunity to see a demonstration of the software, you ought to be asking for that, because that is what's the key difference here and what makes our system, I hate to say better, it just separates us from everybody else.
Yeah, look at the email that was sent to you inviting you to this webinar. That was sent to you by what we call our business development coaches. And one of those people here at our office can help you by giving you that live demo. It's over the internet, just like we're doing this through GoToWebinar here. Live, you're seeing the exact system that you'll be using, and you can ask all the questions you want, and we show you all the features of it, of course, and answer all your questions. So it's a great way to see it. But yeah, so when you think of software that's out there, I mean, I hate to put it this way, Eric, but really software is software. You have to have some to do medical billing, but that's not the key, as you'll see, folks, to being successful in this business. It's not all about just processing claims. You can learn to do that at your local college probably, but it's how to build a business that's profitable for you and your family.
And what's interesting about this is, and as we're going to the next slide here, Patrick, we know that 89% of physicians are looking to change or upgrade their billing and collection systems sometime in the next future. I mean, this is a continual thing that's going on every day, that doctors are looking at what they can do to improve their cash flow. And obviously one of the places that they're always looking for is the billing side.
Yeah, this is great news. When we saw this, I think it was towards the end of last year when we first saw that number. That's great news for us and for our licensees, because it shows you that doctors are not happy with what they currently use or their current outsourcing company that's doing the billing. They're wanting to make a change, and we show our licensees how to go in there, and that's why we have licensees signing up doctors every day.
Right.
I just noticed a question here from WR. They say, how does ABS make money, and how do you see the business when hospitals are buying all the practices and implementing their own billing and EMR systems, specifically here in my area? Well, you know, I don't know how to answer that other than to say we see signups from our licensees, which are from coast to coast, every single day. Folks, there are doctors who don't want to work for hospitals. And we've heard horror stories of doctors that went to work for a hospital and then realized they have no control over their time, their income, they've lost the connection with patients, and they hate it. And so when they go back out and try to start their own practice again, they realize at that point that they've given up all their patients and have to start from scratch. It's a very sad story. And we've salvaged some doctors who were about to do that.
Well, Patrick, you and I both know that we've got folks that are up in the Northeast. That's where WR is from. There are plenty of folks that are up there that are doctors that are looking to switch, because some of our licensees do live up in that area. We do know that there are doctors that are being bought by billing practice, by hospitals. But you know, when you've got something, and the reason is because they can't afford something as powerful as what we're looking at in our software, that they feel like the only way that they can get this type of a software is if they do go to a hospital and get bought out by a hospital. But we can keep doctors independent, and that I don't know how much more we can emphasize that, but that's what we really need to do for all of us.
Well, that's why my new book that I happen to have right here is about to be released, called The New Thriving Medical Practice. Here's the subtitle: How to Get Off the Hamster Wheel, Work Smarter, Not Harder, Generate More Revenue, and Enjoy Greater Satisfaction in the Era of the Affordable Care Act. So what this book is all about, Eric, is to help doctors realize that they can stay in private practice and thrive. And this is written actually by Dr. Vicki Ratner. She's an MD, retired general surgeon, and myself. And it's a great marketing tool that our licensees are going to be able to use starting here in probably the next 60 days.
Well, let's jump in here real quickly. We're going to do as best we can to kind of demonstrate some of the power of iClaim and really what's going to be able to help doctors stay independent, not get bought out by major clinics or hospitals and anything like that. Because what we can do, we can provide them, because we're doing things in real time, Patrick, as we've known and shown this to several people, is one of the ways that we see doctors not being able to collect money. And maybe I'll let you kind of talk little bit about this, because I think this is important for people to understand. We know that Obamacare, or what we know as the Affordable Care Act, is alive and well. And if someone wants to go buy insurance today, they can go do that. But what happens next month if they don't pay their bill, Patrick?
Well, they're in trouble. They can be out of practice real fast. So what we do is we tell people, look, this system resides in the cloud. And I've noticed there's a question here even from Philip about that. Where does it reside? Well, folks, the difference between software nowadays is that it can either be, either comes on a CD that you actually install in your computer. You put it in the drive and install it on your hard drive, and it resides there. Or it can be in the cloud. Now, the cloud can be owned by anybody who has a server set up for that purpose. We have our own private servers, so we own the cloud, which means that it's not just in one location, it's in multiple locations in the United States. In case one of them goes down, the other one kicks in, and you don't even know that it's been down. So it's very secure, it's very private, it follows all the HIPAA rules for privacy, and it's accessible from any computer in the world. Now, I think that's probably an Apple Mac computer illustrated there, but it doesn't matter, folks. It can be a PC running Windows or a Mac computer, and you can access it from anywhere that has an internet connection. You literally go to your browser, type in the address of what we give you where our server is, and log in, of course, with a password and ID. It's very secure, and boom, you're online using our software from anywhere in the world.
Well, let me kind of demonstrate the power of what we were talking about there. As we know that a patient can go buy insurance today, and they go see the doctor today. But if they go back and see the doctor next month and they don't pay their premium, how does the doctor know whether that insurance that patient's using is valid? So we're trying to make this understanding for you to understand that because our system can do some things in real time, it can literally check a patient's record with their insurance to see if that patient is still valid with that insurance. So I'm going to kind of show that to you here real quickly. And the way that works is what's called in here what's called this eligibility request. Now, folks, what this is going to give you a power. Kind of going back to Donna's question, what makes our system better than any other system is because what we're about to show you. So when we click on that button right there, it says eligibility request. Inside of our system, you can see it's allowing us to pull up that patient's insurance company, whether they're with Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Medicare, whatever they want to do. We can go search that internally and then click a button, and then it's going to come back. And if everybody can see right here where it says status and it shows active, folks, we've just helped save a doctor. If this person was inactive, it would tell us, and it would tell that doctor, before you see this patient, you might want to convert them to a cash pay or get them to pay first before the doctor sees them. Patrick, we're seeing more and more doctors seeing patients with invalid insurance, in health insurance, more and more, simply because they don't have the power to be able to do this.
Yeah, and folks, this is happening in real time. That means when you click that eligibility button, our system is going out to that insurance company's database over the internet, looking at that patient and making sure that they're active, and then bringing that data right into the system. So what you're seeing there on the screen now is the data that was collected from the insurance company. You didn't have to type a thing in. So you can spend literally hours of time with our system, and unless it's a cloud-based system, it can't do that.
Right, and what the other part of it that separates us from everybody else, again, is because we own the clearinghouse. We can't stress that enough as well, because that is the portal. That's the connection that allows us to go directly to those insurance companies And folks, no other system does that. WR asked a quick question, is this being recorded? Yes. So if you need to go back to work, go back to work. This is being recorded. You'll have this ready for you to watch tomorrow.
Right.
All right, so we've talked about the billing side of it, because again, let's not get too far off of what we're wanting to communicate today, what people are getting for their investment here. Hopefully we're able to show you a little bit about the billing side of it. Now we're going to move into the EMR, which we know is the electronic medical records side. And Patrick, because of this, why don't you see these little color codes here that we're looking at? This is, again, the power of the billing system and the doctor's electronic medical records system working hand in hand, because these color codes is telling us if these people are eligible with their insurances or not. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, they can tell just by the color of the little button there whether or not this particular patient that they're about to see has been cleared to be eligible for the visit. And not only that, folks, this is being illustrated here as if it's on a desktop computer, but in reality, doctors usually use this on an iPad. So this illustration of this screen is basically a picture of a computer screen, but it could be an iPad. And
right.
Made so that, with your finger, you can actually touch all the different things that you see there on the screen.
Yeah, we're actually going to show that here, but I kind of got ahead of myself here by clicking the button. But I know that this is one of the things that probably impresses us the most, and this is what you like to talk about. This is really going into the future. You want to explain what this is illustrating here?
Yeah, we call it an e-visit, but you may have heard the term telemedicine. That's a big thing that's coming down the pipe. There are times when you need to see a doctor or ask a doctor questions, and he can ask you questions and determine what's going on or what you need without having to see that doctor in person. And now the technology is available through our EMRX system for the doctor and the patient to be able to do that. The patient can go to the patient portal that I mentioned earlier. They can make arrangements to meet that doctor, and online they're video chatting just like Eric and I are here on this system. With the technology that's available nowadays, folks, going to visit a doctor is going to be a rare thing for a lot of people, especially for follow-up visits.
Absolutely, and that's what's incredible. It's even hard for us to fathom. Could I go to the doctor just by being in my office at home or wherever it might be, or on my own iPad? Speaking of the iPad, you kind of mentioned that earlier, but as we're looking at the screen now, that's basically what they would be doing. And because of the capabilities of the iPad and even a lot of the other tablets, it doesn't have to be an iPad,
right?
But they can dictate their notes right into here.
Yeah, doctors spend hours sometimes after seeing patients all day. They'll sit in their office and they'll dictate notes, or they'll type notes into their laptop. Here on the iPad, using our system, this is so advanced, folks, that on the iPad, the doctor can just tap that little microphone that you see there next to the space bar and just talk right into the iPad, and it will translate that into text. So the doctor doesn't ever have to type any again. And Eric, I think it's like 98.5% accurate on even the medical terms. So it's
right.
It's a great system.
Yeah, and if you could just talk a little bit more about what's actually happening in that particular, why it's important for doctors to be able to know that they can just type in their notes without ever having to type in their notes. That the doctors just don't have time to be able to do that.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to a doctor's time is very valuable, and they can spend literally hours after hours doing this type of note taking or putting their notes in about the visits. When they don't have to do that anymore, they can literally just speak to the computer and it'll do that for them, folks. This is the latest cutting edge technology. And look at this. This is our drawing pad. The doctor can actually pull up drawings of different parts of the body, circle where the pain is or the problem is, and then make notes on that. That's all done just using their finger there on the iPad. So that's why we mentioned the iPad. It is set up for touch, although there's a lot of tablets that'll do that nowadays too, I'm sure.
And not only can you do it on just a desktop or on the iPad, but there are mobile apps of the software because obviously, it seems like it's inevitable that we leave the doctor's office or we need a refill on prescriptions. There are apps for the doctors for their phone that if they're out and about and they need a refill a prescription or send a prescription out, they can literally do it from their smartphone. Whether again it's an Apple product or an Android product, it doesn't matter. That's what can happen. And folks, you get this power for your investment here. This is what you're getting, and this is the strength of what you're getting here at ABS with just the iClaim and EMRX. You're going to be able to deliver a solution to that doctor's office that they've never been able to have at their hands.
Like when the doctors see the demo, we'll talk about this later, that we do the demos for you, for your prospective clients. When they see it, they just go bananas, don't they, Eric? I mean, they cannot believe what they're seeing on the screen when we illustrate all the things we're showing you guys. So it's very advanced. It is the future. And yes, even though the software is not the ultimate reason for your success, it could be a big part of it. And that's why our system is the latest leading edge technology that's out there. So, Eric, now, well, we just started basically, and here we are almost halfway through the hour. Now we got to talk about all those other services that we mentioned earlier. Let's start with AutoCard here.
Yeah, I know you know quite a bit about AutoCard and how it works, so I'm going to kind of turn it over to you and let you talk about this one real quickly.
AutoCard is the most fantastic way to help the doctor follow up with their patients. Folks, this is not an online e-greeting card. This is a physical card that's printed in color, dropped in the mail, and mailed to the patient for follow-up. It stands out in today's email world because people are not used to getting something in the mail. And when they do, they're very impressed. It's a greeting card or a postcard, and it's all online. We have over 15,000 different designs that you can choose from for the doctor, and they can edit it and, of course, make it as personalized as they wish, even adding their own photos. So I don't even know how to go into detail about this, but, guys, it's not only for the doctors, but you can help it follow up with your clients, your prospective clients as well. It's just a fantastic follow-up system. It's all automated. You can put it on a campaign, it's called, and a card goes out every month automatically without you having to do anything. When the doctors see this, they're pretty impressed with this.
So this is one of the ones that you can actually help the doctor help increase their cash flow by getting new patients in. I think we kind of get numb to the idea, so to say, that a doctor has a complete group of people that they keep seeing, and they do. But again, there's times where the doctor wants to add a certain percentage of new patients into their practice because they know that some patients are never going to come back, and so there's always some type of an attrition rate that the doctors have to think about. This is one of those things that right there that you're able to help them with. Quick Collect. Quick Collect is a one of the services that can help on the collections. Talk about the difference between a collection agency, Patrick, and what Quick Collect will actually do.
Well, first of all, let me just say this, folks. You know that you may not know this, but doctors don't collect but about half of all the money that they bill to patients. Now, Eric, when I first heard that, I could not believe that. Think of a business that sends out their invoices and they only get half of the money in. But that's true with doctors because they don't know how to deal with that when the patient doesn't pay. And some of them, just feel sorry for them. But we can use this automated system, which does it completely behind the scenes, automated for you. You're not making any phone calls. You're not having to send out any letters. This is all automated, folks, and it does the exact same thing that a collection agency might do in that it does send out some letters, but you're not a collection agency. In fact, we collect 41% of all the money that's turned over to our Quick Collect system, and that's unheard of. Most collection agencies don't collect but about 14 or 15% of the money that they're turned over. So it's a wonderful way. Now, this kind of answers Burke's question. I'm looking at the question box here and seeing a few come in. Burke, how does ABS help with marketing? Well, here's one way. Think about it, Burke. A doctor may not be interested in talking to you about their billing. Maybe they think they've got that under control, right? But they certainly might have a problem with their patient receivables. This is a way for you to get your foot in the door with that office and show that you can solve this part of their revenue problem. If we could take a doctor's collections from only 50% of what they bill to patients to say 98%, wouldn't that be a good thing? And we've done that through this system.
Right. And another great question that just came in from Philip, he's asking, do we have to use Quick Collect? And the beauty about all the different services that we have here that we're showing you, and we'll get on over here to the choice pay, you use the one that you want to use.
Yeah, they're all optional. Folks, we just developed these because of the need that we saw in the marketplace. Our licensees sometimes would come to us and say, hey, the doctor's complaining about their patient receivables. What can we do about that? Well, we didn't have anything, so we came up with the Quick Collect. Same way with choice pay here. This just allows patients to pay their medical bills on their own terms. They can pay it out and automate it, completely automated through an online website that allows them to do that. So again, these are just auxiliary services that are optional that you will find are very valuable somewhere down the line once you get your foot in the door with a doctor.
And then now we're going to start talking real quickly about the codes, because a lot of people do worry about medical codes, Patrick. So we're going to talk about these two kind of back-to-back, AUTOCARD and then CodeWrite. Now, AUTOCARD has to do with, as you can see here, folks, on the screen, that it actually does some analytics with what's currently going on with the doctor's office. So imagine that you could, as a brand new medical billing company, walk into a doctor's office and provide them this level of analytics to find out really what's going on with their codes. Are they missing any money without you ever knowing the first code that there might even be? We'll step you through this. This helps improve their own reimbursements. It helps correct whether they're doing whether it puts them in a position to be audited by Medicare. So there's a lot of different types of parts of this whole system that you can be thinking about, including, again, CodeWrite. So here's these two services that are kind of back-to-back dealing with the codes here. Patrick, I know you wanted to kind of talk about what codes might be, so I'm throwing this up here on the screen here. You want to kind of explain a little bit about what medical codes are and how they relate into what we're talking about right here?
You know, every time you go to the doctor, you probably get a piece of paper that looks something like this. It shows the different codes that the doctor can circle or check off a little box before you go up and check out. Those are the codes we're talking about that, folks, you don't have to know these codes because they're all built into our system. Yes, even the latest ICD-10 codes are right into our system. So it's nice to know with a service like CodeWrite or AUTOCARD that we're protecting that doctor, because, folks, if the doctor uses the wrong code, sometimes Medicare can come in, audit the doctor, and charge them huge fines. AUTOCARD protects them from that. CodeWrite is a system that basically you have over 100 certified medical coders that we have available to you and to the doctor to help you with those codes. And we can go in and analyze the codes that the doctor's using, see if they're using the correct codes, because if they're undercoding, they can be losing money and not getting what they should be getting for the services they provide to patients. And of course, we've got all kinds of reports that CodeWrite provides to the doctor to help them analyze that.
Right, and so these are some of the most powerful services that could actually be used even before you get your client. One of the things we're going to show you here now, everything that we've shown you is what we think is the tangibles. All of the different services, CodeWrite, AUTOCARD, Quick Collect, all the other ones that we've talked about, AUTOCARD, iClaim and EMRX, all of that are tangible products and services that you're going to be able to utilize. But utilizing something like this can actually help you get inside the door. But now what we're going to kind of dive into for the next 15 to 20 minutes here is talking about what's the sort of the intangibles here in just a moment. But let's wrap up here with iDocs Now, Patrick. And this is different from EMRX as being medical records. Explain what this is and how this actually works and can be profitable for the licensees as well.
Well, of course, EMRX, electronic medical records, is just what it sounds like. When a doctor sees a patient, they can put everything into EMRX and it's all electronic. But what about the huge stacks of paper that they already have on hand, illustrated by little brochure there that we have showing all. You've seen all those files in the doctor's office. Sometimes they're in boxes. Sometimes they're laying in the hallways. This is a huge problem for doctors because they have to keep those records for up to 7 years legally. Now, we can take all of that and scan that into the cloud. Our iDocs now is a cloud-based system that allows the doctor and their staff to access those documents from anywhere on any computer or device that has an internet connection. It scans it electronically and allows the doctor to search the text in each one of those documents and pull it up any way they want to. They can print it, they can mail it. It's a wonderful way to get all that paper out of the office, clear up those rooms, make room for more patient exam rooms if they need to, or more equipment, and get all that into the cloud.
Now let's talk real quickly about the physician's toolbox, because we keep adding to this, and these are some of the ancillary type of services that a licensee might get asked about. What about transcriptions, or what maybe about what's called credentialing, or what if they need appointment reminders? These are the things that we can't just have all these different services and all these different parts of a marketing material for you. So we've called this the physician's toolbox. This is kind of the catch-all to all other different types of services, and we're continually adding things to this of what could be actually be next up in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
well, and what could be next? Well, like the old saying goes, Eric, I could tell them, but then I'd have to kill everybody because we are working on some great new services. Those will all be introduced to our current licensees. If you become a licensee of ABS by joining us and paying your fee and coming to our live training workshop and so forth and graduating, you will become an ABS licensee and have access to any new services that we come up with. And the cost for that is absolutely nothing.
Right. It's all part of your first investment with us here. Now, we've talked, again, all of the tangible aspects, all the different services that you see here. Now let's kind of start talking about the marketing aspect of it, because again, you know, going back to Burke's question there, does ABS help me market my business? Patrick, obviously, when someone invests even any amount of money, they want to know what kind of return on investment can I have? How's this company going to help me get clients? That's what we're diving into right now. These are the things that you really can't see behind the scenes. So we're going to try to dive into that a little bit right here.
Yeah, let's start with the marketing flyers that you see here that we've been showing you. Folks, we've put in a lot of money developing these flyers for you. They're literally printed, slick flyers, full color, of course, professionally designed and tested, and they are a part of your package. Now, you get over 2,000 of these pieces, and you can even personalize these with your own contact information and your logo and so forth, with it printed right on the front of those brochures. But you get an initial supply of these, and then if you need more, many licensees never need any more than they initially get, you can order those from us at our printing cost. These are the postcards that are included in your package as well. That's a part of that AUTOCARD system that I showed you earlier, all pre-designed, pre-written marketing postcards. And I thought we skipped over a slide there. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but it had a book in it called How Physicians Can Get More Patients. Maybe that wasn't in your slide.
I think we're going to have that coming up here in just a second. But
we're
just looking at these are the you were talking about customizing the postcards, even with the logos. We've kind of got an example of this, you know, right here on the back. So we showed you the front part of the cards. Now we're kind of showing you the back end of what they look like. This is what they look like here as well.
And they can all be personalized just the way you and or the doctor wants those to read, of course. Then, of course, we have all sorts of other things, including the cash flow book and how physicians can get more patients. That book on the left, folks, is an e-book. It's an electronic book. But notice that below Dr. Vicki Rachner's name there, it says forward by Patrick Phillips. Well, folks, that could be your name there on the cover of the book. Imagine the power, imagine the value of finding a doctor who will basically partner with you in this book. We've already written the forward, of course. All you're adding is your contact information in there. But it adds such credibility to you to be able to say, I've written this book with this doctor, as a partner with this doctor. And it's a wonderful giveaway to the doctors, a great marketing tool. We'll show you how to use that in the training, of course. The one on the right is the physical book that's actually available in your package that you can use to market to doctors as well, the Cash Crunch to Cash Flow. It's the one that we're using right now, that this new book that I showed you earlier will eventually take the place of this book. But it's a great marketing book. It's available on Amazon for $14.95. You're able to buy it from us for reorder at $3 a copy. So it's a great marketing tool.
Absolutely. And again, remember, you're getting all of this as part of your first initial investment with us. It's not like you have to go buy this and add it to your investment. You do get a certain limited amount of copies of this, but if you need more, that's the cost for you to be able to get it. It's at a considerable reduced cost. Patrick, we have the calendar that we see all the time, and what I see is that what we're looking at right now, this is a trade show booth that has revenue cycle management and this whole part of it right here. We actually see this out every week. You want to explain how this works and what this is all about right here?
Yeah, this is a great big, you can't tell from this picture. I think we have another one with some people standing in it, but it's basically a 10-foot, wide. I think it's 8 foot tall. It has lights on the top of it. It's a very generic trade show booth backdrop, basically, that you can rent from us basically for the shipping costs. I think we've just eliminated all cost at all, Eric, except for shipping now. So they can ship it out to them. They can actually use it there and then ship it back to us. And it's a wonderful tool. Trade shows are a great way. We teach you exactly how to find the trade shows in your area, how to set up, what to do beforehand, what to take with you, exactly how to handle the trade shows. But it's a great thing to just stand there and let doctors, walk up to you and ask you questions.
Exactly, and boy, you're right. What a better way to market than just having doctors come up. Now, does this have to be at a medical trade show?
No, it doesn't. It can be at any kind of trade show. That's like a setup question to me. In fact, we've had licensees put this booth up at entrepreneur shows and home and garden, automobile shows. Doesn't matter because doctors are everywhere, right? They attend those shows too. And when they see what you have, they'll stop and engage with you. And all it takes is one client from about even 10 of these shows to more than be worth your time doing it.
And along with your investment, not only do you have access to get all the marketing material, the postcards, you have access to get the trade show booth, because actually one of the things that we didn't show is that we've got the big one there, and then we have a tabletop one. But then a lot of people are asking, Patrick, now what about a website? What do I do about a website? You want to explain some of the website designs we have here?
You can spend $2,500 developing a website. Or you can use the one that we include in the package. That's right. We have a fully developed website, folks, with all the different menus. All the pages are already set up. I bet there's probably 60 or 70 pages on these websites, and that's included in your package as well. So all we do is add your contact information and logo to these pages, and boom, you have an instant credibility, because without a website nowadays, of course, you're not in business.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, if for people that ask the question, can I take these and customize them yourself? You certainly can. So what we have here is for you to get started. There's no reason for you to have to go do that. A lot of our successful licensees still use these web designs that we already have there. Now let's start talking about support, Patrick, because support can be, it's huge, and so people certainly want to know about support. So we have I would say there's different layers of support that we have here. So let's first talk about ABS support for our licensees.
Yeah, folks, we have live support by toll-free phone, of course. We have email support. We have a site that's set up, we're going to show you here in a moment, that's just for licensees. And folks, this is interesting because we have the only lifetime support in the industry. In other words, once you have paid your licensing fee to us for our business opportunity package, you have lifetime support. That is, you'll never ever pay for that again. Now, if you look at other companies that do something similar out there, some of them will give you 1 year, 3 years, 5 year support, I think. but they're going to charge you after that something like $1,000 a year for that support. So that could add up. With ours, it's lifetime, and that means you never pay another dime for support, no matter what. That's because of the way we set our company up, where we make a few pennies on each one of the claims that are going through our system.
And then so part of that support is the support, like Patrick said, but sometimes your support may be another ABS licensee that is actually helping you along the way. So there are several different layers, as we're talking about here, that is going to actually help you. Now, the next slide we're going to show you is part of what we call the software support. So when you actually have a doctor now that is on iClaim, well, obviously you need to know what kind of access. So I guess, Patrick, the best thing for people to understand that this support group actually starts their day at 7 a.m. Eastern, and it goes all the way through 7 p.m. Pacific. That's quite a bit of a chunk of time there. So
yeah,
you're never without some type of support, especially when you're actually doing the billing part of it.
Right. Here's the great thing about this, folks, is that we have support people that are located really all over the United States. These are all state-based support people, by the way. They all speak native languages, English, and they're available to you as a licensee at no cost.
Right.
So again, a part of this support is very important that you not have to pay for that as you would with many software companies.
Absolutely. Now, then you have online support. We have online support that, again, this is an older screenshot that we have of our licensee support site, but this is online all the time. So if you think about it, now you really do have 24 hours support, because in here, how many hours of training
Eric, you are breaking up. We didn't hear anything you said just in the last 30 seconds, but I think it may be our video cameras. Maybe we should turn those off. I don't know if that's a part of what's going on or not. Anyway, the point is, folks, this is available 24/7, and it has a search feature so you can find all the documents, all the videos. Eric, I think you asked about the number of hours. I think at one time we counted over 100 hours of online training available through our licensee website. Very unique in the marketplace to have something like this. Some franchises that cost $1 million don't have this kind of support.
Right. There is no doubt, and that's what I did ask. So, and then part of the support is the actual pricing. As we kind of wrap up here, we got about 10 more minutes, and we certainly want to get to a last few minute questions here. But this is strategic part of the strategic part of the business of how to actually price their services. You want to explain how that's actually done? I guess it's done both through the live training and on the online support, but that's helpful for our licensees.
Yeah, one of the things we teach people to do is to not go in assuming anything. We have you do what's called a practice analysis with the doctor. It's a series of questions that you ask the doctor or the office manager. And once you've got that information, you can come back and use our templated proposals to just fill in the blanks. And you can send that to our support people here at the office to be able to review, because, folks, we've been doing this for 22 years, so we do have some suggestions most of the time for licensees, especially with their first, one or two of these proposals, as to how to make sure not to leave money on the table and yet not overcharge so that you can get the business. So we give you invaluable input. It's like having a partner behind the scenes that you're able to talk with about this. And then once we do finally produce that, you'll see it's very professionally delivered to the doctor in this nice folder. It has a report in there that we're going to show here in a moment that breaks down exactly those figures that the doctor's office gave you and shows bottom line whether you can save them money or not. It does all the selling for you, basically.
And then, again, I'm going to kind of go back up to Burke's question here about how does ABS help market this business? And then I think Tim is actually on here today and is asking, does ABS provide field training? Well, what we have is not necessarily where we're going to send people out to train you, but what about, what we're doing today? we utilize our technology that we're able to do right now and actually do any type of presentation that you want us to do. Now, Patrick, I know that there's even hard to put a price tag upon what this is, because this could land a client today. This is part of where we're partnering with our licensees and actually doing any demonstrations of the software for them at no additional fees.
Yeah, so basically, folks, you don't have to know anything about the system. If the doctor asks you what kind of system you're using, they want to know the features and so forth. We can get online using technology like we're using today, and one-on-one. We have people here at the office that do demos all day long for doctors. And you, of course, can be on those demos at the same time. That's why we're illustrating three computers here. Maybe that's, us at the top giving the demonstration, and you and the doctor are watching that demonstration. You're getting to hear all the questions that the doctor asks and listen to the answers that we give. We basically have doctors see this, and half of them, Eric, are saying, yeah, what do I do next? How do I sign up?
Right.
So we're doing all the work for you that you would normally think that you'd have to pay somebody to do for you. That's all done through technology. So, Tim, to answer your question about field training, this is even better. What we do for you is not only the live week training here, but we have people who can get online with you as coaches to help you using the technology we're using here. My daughter's going back to get her master's degree, and she's learning that online is the future of education. You don't have to go to a campus anymore because of you can interact with an instructor just like we're talking to you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then just to kind of show you again a little bit of the support part of it is this: you can actually get on our licensee support site, request that demo and consultation. You can see it's more than just a demo. It's a consultation that we're working with you, answering the questions for the doctors, and again, we're supporting you all the way through. Speaking of live training, Dan's asking the question, when's the next training class after February the 8th? We do have one, but as we're talking about that question, Patrick, let's discuss real quickly what is actually happening in this live training.
Yeah, this is hard to illustrate, folks, because you actually have to be there to realize what interaction there is that goes on between not only the instructor and you, but other members of the class, people who are starting their business just like you are. You basically build your own support group and will become very close friends, believe it or not, from Monday till the end of the week on Friday, because you're staying in the same hotel that we do the training in, and you're able to go out to dinner or sit in the lobby in the evenings and visit with these folks and network and ask all the questions you want of one another. The live training, folks, is one of the things that makes this real, because even though we're not illustrating it here, we have actual laptops that are brought in. They're set in front of you on day one. So you're getting hands-on experience utilizing our system. You can't get that from somebody just getting on the phone with you and trying to train you by reading some script that's been written for them. That's not how we do it. This live training is well worth the week that it takes for you to set aside to come down here. It's what I call a jump start. Yes, you could probably get your business started on your own with maybe some tutoring over the phone, but there's nothing like this concentrated week where you are asking all the questions you want to ask and hearing the questions that other people ask.
Great
start to your business.
And at the end of the training, you're going to get all of the previous training on DVD that you can see right here. That's what we're showing. But I think the next screen I'm about to show, Patrick, is something that's even greater, which is they walk away with a certification.
That's right. We have certification through the Medical Revenue Managers Association of America. As you can see, you are given this certificate at the end of the week with your name on here. That's because this is exactly like going to college for about 2 years. It's an MBA crunched into 1 week, basically. So you are certified when you leave our class to go out and help doctors. Now, there's lots of learning that can still be done on your own pace, just like the online universities allow you to do on our site. So you take your time and go through the training that you want there, and there's plenty of videos out there to learn from. And then,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just you mentioned, you put that up on the screen there about the different webinars that are done for our licensees. So Folks, we do webinars on Fridays of every week, just like we do these on Wednesdays for people thinking about getting into our business. We do them on Friday for our licensees. And Eric, once you show there comes a list of some of the topics that we covered this past year. Folks, it's incredible the value you get. Imagine having an hour-long training session once a week, every week, for the rest of your life.
Right. All the time. All the time. Now we're going to end with this last one here. We're up at the top of the hour, and we certainly can't take anything away of the longevity of again of American business systems. And folks, again, we don't even know how to explain this as best we'll do it as best we can. But imagine helping to help to cut through the maze of everything going on in medical billing, and put you and give you instant credibility. Patrick, a lot of people ask this question, well, why would a doctor use me if I'm brand new in medical billing? I mean, if you're not associated with a group that's going to help you, I don't know how any doctor would want to do that. But this is a value that, again, that's hard to say this is what you're getting for the package. You're getting instant credibility here with ABS. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I was coughing a bit while ago, so I muted myself. Not only are you partnering with a doctor, as we showed you earlier, with some of the materials that we go out with for marketing, which gives you instant credibility, but you're able to position yourself as a part of the nation's largest network of medical revenue managers. We literally do thousands of claims every day for hundreds of doctors from coast to coast. And we've collected millions of dollars in revenue for doctors that they wouldn't have seen otherwise. Now imagine saying what I just said to anybody that you're talking to. You can do that because when you're a part of ABS, you are a part of the nation's largest network of medical revenue managers. So right. Positioning yourself that way, folks, is invaluable. Not only that, but if the doctor sees a demo of the system like we showed you earlier, we can give that doctor as many references of other doctors that they want. And right. Again, you can't put a price on that.
Yeah, and so imagine that you're able to get a doctor, talk with a doctor, after learning everything you're going to learn in the training class, how to position that doctor for a demo, allowing us to do the demo for you. And again, you may have just walked out of training 2 weeks ago, and yet we're making the presentation for you, and that instantly gives you instant credibility right in front of the doctor. So, here we are for the top of the hour. We did our best to try to show you everything, give you a little bit closer look of what you're getting for the investment here at American Business Systems. But again, let's not end this without talking about, about their investment and about the 100% money back guarantee, Patrick.
Yeah, folks, our licensing fee is $25,000. You'll see that on our website. Now, you can spend $25,000 just developing one of the many tools that we've just shown you today. Can you start your own medical billing business on your own? Yes, you could. The real question is, how long will it take you to get your first client, and how much revenue have you lost by not having our 22 years of experience? But even if you do decide to invest with us and decide to spend the week with us down here in Dallas, you'll notice that we have a 100% money-back guarantee. It just says basically, if at the end of that workshop, for any reason, you don't think this business is right for you, simply ask one of the staff members there, and they'll arrange for you to receive a full refund of your license fee. Folks, I don't know how to be more fair than that. People think we're crazy for doing that because could somebody take advantage of that? Yes. We have given some refunds, so we know that there are people who decided that it wasn't right for them. That's okay. We think that it's valuable because in today's world, don't ever send anybody your money without the assurance that you can get that money back if you see that it's not. And believe me, in a week's time, you have 40 hours in our classroom to decide whether it is for you or not.